Hello everybody, thank you for joining me here today on Cricut Crafty. Today we are going to take some mirrors and we're going to put some vinyl on them. I figured we could make some cute little Christmas presents. So I am happy that you're here with me today, and come along with me and let's get started on the craft. Here we are over in Design Space, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with doing my initial. So I'm going to use the initial from each of the grandchild's first name. So in this case I'm going to use a J. I'm going to do a capital J, and I think I'm going to use a font called Black Chancery, this one here. I just like how the letters work. And then I'm going to go back over to the left and click on text, and I'm going to type out Jenna. And although I do like that, I don't want to use the same font for the word as I am for the letter. So I'm going to change the font to Bookman, I think. It's just a one that I think everyone should have on their computer. And then just gonna fool around with it here and get it to be the size that I am wanting. Now, I'm not meaning the size to put on the mirror itself, but just so that the words would look proportionate to each other. I think we're gonna make it a little bit smaller, a little bigger. And I always go up to the line and just click on center, and that makes everything align. And I think I like the way it's looking, so we're gonna go with that. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to put a offset around the first name. So I'm gonna go up here to offset, and I'm gonna click in here, and I'm just gonna kind of click and drag, and I can just barely see it here. I think that'll work. So I'm gonna move the name out of the way. Oh, actually, I don't have that connected, so no, I don't like that. So what you can do is if you put your word down further on the screen, when you click on the offset feature, then you can see your word, and you can see the offset that's being put around it. So now that I can see it, I just want to make sure. I think that's just a little bit too much. There. So you can just use the little dot and move it back and forth, or you can actually go in here and start typing on the numbers. I think I'm okay with that. As long as they're all touching, as long as they're all connected, then I'm okay with that. So I'm going to click apply, and now when I move this, these are all together. So now I'm going to bring back my initial, put this on here, select them both, and go up to align and center. Now that they're set where they're supposed to be, I'm going to, with both of them selected, I'm going to go down here and click on the slice tool. I'm going to grab my letter J and move it out of the way, and all of this stuff here can be deleted. So now it doesn't look like a J, but once you get this on here, then it looks more like what it should be. I think I'm okay with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld them together. So I've selected both of those, and I'm going to click on weld. The reason I did that is I want these two to cut out at the same time in the order that they're placed, so that I don't have to try matching them up. They're just going to print, or sorry, not print, but cut. Now we need to go and change the size of this. I measured, and I know that I can have a letter and a name that is 2.25 in width. So I'm going to click on that, and that looks good to me. So now we can, if you wanted to, you can go ahead and save it. I'm not going to, because I'm obviously only going to make one of these. And I'm going to click on that. And don't worry about the color, because we're just doing one color. We're not having the letter J a different color than the word Jenna. It doesn't matter what color. We do not need to mirror it or anything, so we can just click on continue. When this opens up, I'm gonna use vinyl. So I'm just gonna click on vinyl, and now we can go over and start cutting it. All right, I'm going to use white vinyl. So I have just a little piece of vinyl here, and I'm going to use my strong grip mat, and I'm going to line my vinyl up onto the top left-hand corner of the mat and just get it all pressed down nice and flat, and now we're ready to cut. Of course, dog hair. I'm going to load the mat, and now the Cricut's ready to go, and I'm going to push the C button for cut. All right, it's done cutting. We'll remove our mat and take the vinyl off the board. Remember, always take your board away from your vinyl. And then I'm just going to take a pair of scissors, and I'm going to cut my design out and save this for another project. Okay, I'm going to flip my design over, and I'm going to use my scraping tool, and I'm just going to push it down, make sure that that cut image is stuck to the backing. Now I'm going to take my weeding tool, and I'm just going to weed away the excess vinyl, trying really hard to get my image to stay down on my paper here. Take your time. Try not to let your vinyl fold back down onto your backing or in your design, otherwise you could have a real mess there. We'll just weed out these little centers, like so. If I can get a hold of it. And there we go. So now our design is ready to be put onto our little mirror. All right, so this is the little mirror I've picked up. I just picked it up at the Dollar Tree, actually. So we, in Canada, pay $1.25 plus tax. So it's not really $1, but close enough. I just thought it was pretty with all the shimmer. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open this up. And take it out of here if I can. I just thought this would be a nice little gift for the granddaughter. So very sparkly, and has a little mirror so they can keep it in their little bag. So now I've got my design. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of transfer tape, and I'm going to just set that right up on top of the vinyl. And I need my scraping tool. Push that down really good. Flip it over and do the same from the back. And our vinyl should be ready to go. So before I go ahead and put this on here, this mirror, this sparkle is coming off. So I think what I'm going to do is to take some Mod Podge and paint this on here and let it dry completely before I put the vinyl on. Okay, so I have my bottle of Mod Podge and just a brush, and I'm just going to stick my brush way down in there. I almost need to buy a new bottle of Mod Podge. It's almost empty. So I'm just going to put a thin coat. Now with the Mod Podge, it does dry clear, so I'm not too concerned about that. but I am going to try to get my lines, my paintbrush lines, all going the same way. Okay, so I'm going to make sure it's applied, and I'm going to get around the edges as well. Trying not to get on the mirror, of course. Paint around here. Make sure all of it is coated. This will dry clear and you won't even know that it was even there. Alright, so now that I got all the edges done, I'm just going to go like this. Just lightly go over it. And now I'm going to let it dry. Okay, so the Mod Podge is dried, and I think that was a good choice so that the sparkles aren't going to continue to fall off the little mirror. So now we can go ahead and remove the backing and start putting our vinyl on to our mirror. So again, we'll just peel this away and try to get this on here as centered as possible. Just like that. Now I'm going to use my scraping tool and I'm going to push down on this pretty hard to try to get that vinyl stuck down into the glitter. Alright, so let's see if this is going to work. No, not yet. So what we need to do is put some more Mod Podge on there. We need to have it so that it's a bit thicker, so this will stick. Because otherwise it's just going to peel off. I'm just going to put this back on here. I'm going to grab my Mod Podge and take that same brush that we used before, and I'm going to put a fairly liberal amount on this time. I'm going to try to really get a good, not thick layer, but I want to cover in, I want to have all of the little holes, if you would say, in between the sparkle, the glitter, to be filled in, so that this is more of a flat layer. Okay, so I'm just going to do this, and I hope that this is just, we'll only have to put the one coat on. So again, we're going to let this dry, and we will come back when it's done, when it's dry. I'm just going to put a little bit more on this side. It seems to be a little bit less on this side, so. Spread that around. Okay, let's see what happens. All right, I'm back, and this is completely dry, and it's a lot smoother than it was. I think the vinyl will stick to it better now. So let's give it a try. So, just like that. And of course, I forgot my squeegee tool over there. Give that a good rub down. And let's see if this is gonna work now. There we go. Perfect. See that? That's perfect. And I'm just going to rub it down with my finger just to make sure that that vinyl is stuck down really good. And there you go. I think that turned out really cute. So I have three more to do. So I did the same thing. I took them out of the package and I applied a couple coats of Mod Podge onto the surface here, just so that it wasn't so bumpy and the sparkle's not going to rub off. And I've got the vinyl all ready to go. So I'm just going to bring this up here so you can see what I'm doing. And rub these down. Take the back off. And then put it onto here. So right about there. Again, we'll rub the vinyl on. Quick and easy little project, something personalized that you can put in with your children or your grandkids' presents. I think they just look so cute. And there's that one. And then we have this purple one. All right, so we'll just keep going here. Actually, I think I'm gonna put this one on the blue one. And make sure it's where I want it. And then it's all going to be right where I want it. Just rub these down a bit. And then peel back the transfer tape. And just like that, you have a personalized gift. And there's that one. And we'll do the last one now. And carefully remove the backing. And we'll get this one on here. Just like that. Burnish this down pretty good. And now we can start removing the transfer tape. I'm really happy with how these turned out. I think the grandchildren are going to love them. And there's that one. So like I said, a quick and easy little project to make for your children, your grandchildren. I hope you enjoyed watching me make these, and you know, if you feel like making some, by all means, just hit up your local dollar store. That's where I found the mirrors, and use a Cricut. If you don't have a Cricut, you can, you know, find some little letter stickers from Michael's or Walmart or the dollar store and do up your own, by all means. So I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day. Thank you once again for joining me here on my channel, Cricut So Crafty. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please feel free to give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button. And if you want to see more content like this, feel free to click on the bell and you'll receive notification when I upload my next video. Thank you again and happy crafting.